ट्विटर पे लाइव नहीं हो पा रहा है। बोरिया सर के ट्विटर से चलते हैं। Okay. Good morning, sports enthusiasts. Welcome to Rev Sports, your go to source for the latest updates, highlights, and breaking news from the dynamic world of sports. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual observer, join us every morning as we deliver a fast paced and entertaining rundown of the top headlines, match previews, player insights, and everything you need to know to kickstart your day in the world of sports. For the very first news of the morning, India has clinched a historic silver at the Youth Table Tennis Championship. At the World Youth Table Tennis Championships held in Slovenia, the Indian under 15 girls doubles teams of Jennifer Varkis and Devyanshi Bhaumik have secured India's first and historic silver medal. Despite a spirited performance, the Indian duo faced a tough challenge from the Japanese pair in the final of the International Table Tennis Federation's World Youth Championships. Jennifer and Divyanshi ultimately conceded the match with a 1-3 scoreline. Despite their determined efforts, the Japanese pair dominated most of the match, allowing the Indians to secure only one set. Additionally, Jennifer Verkes also partnered with R. Abhinandan in the under 15 mixed doubles, achieving another milestone for India by securing a bronze medal. The under 19 youth girls team also added to India's triumphs, clinching a bronze medal in the team events after a remarkable upset victory over Egypt in the quarterfinals a few days earlier. Joining me is also Ishan, who will be here to give you the important news headlines of the day.
A very good morning to everyone. Now, Gagi, how amazing is that? The Indians are just thriving. And talking about thriving, the Indian team has managed winning the final T20I against Australia. And it was so good to watch. Ashdeep Singh was the star of the match, chasing 161. The Aussies were feeling pretty comfortable at a point of time. But Ashdeep Singh, again, known for his death bowling, came in at the time when the team needed him the most and just delivered, conceding just 3 runs of the final over and also sending back the dangerous Matthew Wade. So I think Indian fans all around must be celebrating. Obviously, the Indians did not get the World Cup, but I think winning this sort of trophy, winning a T20I trophy, will give them a lot of confidence when they go into that T20 World Cup, Gagi.
Absolutely. And for the third news of the day, India is all set to bid for the 2029 World Athletics Championship. The Athletics Federation of India has shifted its focus from bidding for the 2027 World Athletics Championships and is now preparing to bid for the later edition, which is the 2029 edition. According to a senior official, initially India was considering hosting the 2027 tournament. The AFI has now changed its plans. The most recent World Athletics Championship took place in Budapest, Hungary in August, and the upcoming edition is scheduled for 2025 in Tokyo. AFI Senior Vice President Anju Bobby George has mentioned that India has already expressed its interest in hosting the 2036 Olympics and the 2030 Youth Olympics, making the potential of the 2029 World Athletics Championship a significant opportunity for the country. Back
And
to you,
talking
Ish.
about the Olympics, Gagi, the AFI has decided to stop national camps post the Olympics. And the thought process behind this is to provide an opportunity for private entities to step in as well, because all these private entities have established great facilities for all these players and professionals to come and practice and train and groom themselves. While also having that, they also have instilled great coaches. So a lot of investment has been made, and this decision has just been re-announced again. So great news moving ahead. And what this provides, Gagi, is that, and for everyone listening here, is that it provides a chance for the athletes to stay next to their homes and not necessarily training camps. So an athlete is always away most of the time. So when they're away for a long time, they obviously miss home, they miss their home conditions, they miss being around family. And this provides an opportunity for them to train really hard while also being around family. So just fantastic news all around.
Absolutely. And going back to cricket, David Warner is all set to bid adieu. David Warner seems to be on course for the farewell that he desires in the Sydney Test, having been included in the first Test squad alongside Usman Khwaja as the sole openers. This assurance is more significant than what he experienced during the England tour and the previous home summer when Marcus Harris was a constant presence and a potential replacement. The selectors refrained from guaranteeing Warner's possession beyond each test match. The critical consideration for them now is whether fulfilling Warner's desired farewell might pose a challenge for the team. The selectors have also emphasized their approach of viewing each test independently, prioritizing the present over the future. George Bailey, the chairman of selectors, reiterated this stance while announcing Warner's inclusion in the first test against Pakistan. However, the selectors seem unconvinced that any other players present a compelling case at the domestic or the Australia A level for an early call up. Coach Andrew McDonald has even publicly questioned whether the batting order could be adjusted after Warner's departure to accommodate two all rounders.
Amazing. And besides cricket, everyone, all our fans, they love football. And who doesn't love football? So Liverpool scored two late goals yesterday against Fulham, 4-3. It was a thriller of a game. And Endo was the star performer, scoring the goal in the 87th minute. So all those football fans, all those Liverpool fans must be super stoked to see that happen. The debut strike by also Alexis Mack, Alistair, which made a crucial impact in that game. So all Liverpool fans, I'm sure, will be very, very excited. Liverpool is at the moment 2 points adrift from the leader Arsenal, while Man City is third on 29 points. So football fans would be extremely happy to see how all these points are adding up, and especially after Liverpool's performance yesterday.
Absolutely. 2023 has been an incredible year for Indian sports, and Ramkumar Ramanathan has clinched another Kala Buragi Open in a remarkable display of skill. Ramkumar Ramanathan from India secured the Kala Buragi Open, which is his third ITF title within a span of 57 days, triumphing over Austrian David Pickler with a convincing score of 6-2, 6-1 in the final of the Kalaburagi Open at the Chandrasekhar Patil Stadium on Sunday. The swift victory, lasting only 64 minutes, earned Ramkumar a winner's check of 3,200 US dollars and 25 ATP points. Displaying tenacity and strategic prowess, he capitalized on his opponent's mistake and delivered. The only challenging moment for Ramkumar occurred in the fifth game when he faced difficulty holding his serve against David's powerful down the line winners. However, the two breaks in the fourth and the sixth games, with the two breaks, Ram Kumar concluded the match dominantly at 6-1, sealing the crown with an ace and leaving his opponent nearly blanked on the scoreboard.
Now, Liverpool fans were extremely happy. I'm sure Real Madrid fans will be even happier. Rodrigo continued his goal performance scoring, and he scored two important goals yesterday. So all Real Madrid fans will be extremely happy as well. Real Madrid will now reclaim the lead in the La Liga. So I'm sure they were disappointed earlier, but after that performance yesterday from Rodrigo, I think all of them would be extremely happy and excited.
Absolutely. And going back to Indian sports, Abhinav Chaudhary is the new national shooting champion. Abhinav Chaudhary emerged victorious in the 25-meter rapid fire pistol event at the National Shooting Championships held in MP in an academy in Bhopal. In a thrilling final, the 16-year-old secured the gold medal by defeating Ankur Goyal with a score of 30-26. Abhinav had showcased his prowess earlier by topping the qualification round with an impressive score of 584. Throughout the intense final, Abhinav demonstrated remarkable consistency in the 8 4-second series, firing precise shots with a mix of threes and fours, punctuated by a flawless round of 5. In the junior final, Vijayveer Sidhu clinched the gold by defeating Olympic quota winner Anish Bhanwala with a score of 28-25.
Just awesome. I think now, Gagi, it's time to add our guest in so we can have a final discussion on the
Absolutely.
game that took place yesterday. Joydeep, thank you so much for joining. A very good morning to you, first of all. Joydeep, you're on mute. A
I say
very good
very good
morning.
morning. Both of you
Thank
looking
you.
very
Yeah.
bright. So good to see.
Thank you, and so are you. Joydeep, we were having a discussion the other day about how women's cricket is thriving. Two great matches, and we were talking about the third one being a big one as well. And Issy Wong's performance once again, just fantastic. But before we get to Issy Wong, I think Gagi has a question for you first.
Mm.
Absolutely. I mean, look at, I need to talk about Shreyanka Patil because she's been
Mm.
impressive throughout WPL. She's been impressive in WCPL and in the Emerging Asia Cup. How do you see Shreyanka Patil going forward, in the future? We have a World Cup coming up and all of that.
Yeah, I think she's an amazing talent. But also, when you're very young, at a very young age, then you know you're special, and sometimes you do things like the first ball shot that she played in the second game. She played the scoop, first ball with a partner batting on what 19, 20. All she had to do is take a single, play a few balls. So talent wise, she's up there with the best. But I've seen this with Richa also from Bengal. When they first come, especially for the batters, because it's a one ball game. See, for somebody like a Tita Sadhu, she'll learn because she'll bowl one bad ball, come back with five good balls. So there's a respite for the bowlers. But for a batter, because it's a one ball game for you, I think as a bowler, Shriyanka Patil is fabulous, a proper all rounder. Like we have Deepti, who does the same job with off spin and batting. I think Shriyanka Patil, is the next one in line, but her batting has to learn how what is required at that point in time. What is my role? What am I supposed to do? I've got a partner batting on 19 or 15. First ball, best bowler bowling. I've take a single, give it to her. If she gets out, I play 5, 7 balls. I've got 4 overs to go. Then I can try something. But in the first ball, if I try a shot where you'll come off maybe twice in 10 times, is not required. So because we're supremely talented and because you feel you can do a lot, that's why you try this shot. Now the lesser talented players will not try this shot because it's something they don't have in their range. But when your range is wide, you feel you can do it all. So she will, as talented as she is, and I just rate her very highly, she will have to learn the nuances of scoring runs because that is what everybody goes through. Even in men's cricket, as talented as Shubman and Yashasvi are, they've gone through that grind of how to score runs, learn from Virat, learn from Rohit, learn from Surya, different situation, how to score runs. So I think she's a phenomenal talent. And this A-team cricket, Gargi, is so good because we don't see a lot of A-team cricket as far the women are concerned.
Yep.
We see it for the men. So we keep seeing the men. We know who the men are. We know who the boys are coming through. And I was discussing with Ishan the other day. It's it's the nursery that decides how your senior team is going to be. If you look at the Indian men's team now, everybody in the top six is from under 19 India.
Yep.
Rohit,
Exactly.
Virat, Yashasvi, Shubman, Surya. So even with the girls, the Mandanas, the Harmanpreets, the Harleen Deols, the Jemimas, they've all come through the system. There'll be one or two who will come from outside and play like a Mukesh Kumar, who hasn't played any junior cricket. One or two. That means
Yeah.
BCCI does such a good job of A, finding the talent wherever they are in some village, some corner, somewhere. B, looking after them. And for me, the most important is looking after them in transition after they've played under 19 cricket and they come to men's cricket. I've seen some under 19 India players from Bengal lose their way when they came to men's cricket because men's cricket is a different ballgame altogether.
Oh, yeah.
But that transition, when you come from 19, you've done really well, you play for under 19 India, and then you come to men's cricket and you say, you struggle for a couple of years. Then BCCI holds your hand and sees you through as they're doing with the Yash Dhul. And we've
It's
seen some have lost their way, before. And under 19 India captains are now going and playing for America, not playing first class cricket anymore. So that transition period is very, very, very good question you ask.
So, Joydeep, what you're saying is basically once you make it at the highest level, it's then that you have to stay focused and ensure that the nurturing is well trusted because uh, you know the journey is obviously very difficult, but once you make it, I think a lot of people tend to get very complacent. So, staying level-headed and ensuring that
Yeah.
your board supports you, takes care of you, is of the greater importance.
Yeah, Ishan, what you're saying is when somebody's already there,
Okay.
people like, I met Shubman in Bombay just in the elevator, bumping into each other. I met him in 2018 when he first came to KKR, and I met him. Yes, I keep bumping into him, but I spent 15 minutes with him talking.
Hmm.
He's a different person, and only 4 years have gone. I
Yeah.
almost felt like 15 years have gone. That's how mature he is.
True.
That becomes when you stay in that environment, in the arena. But I am more talking about the under 19 players who have ruled under 19 India
Yeah. Yeah.
and finding it a little bit difficult to make their way into first class cricket. The biggest
Hmm.
example for me is Yash Dhul.
mm,
Yash Dhul has had a good, Syed Mustak Ali last year, highest run getter. This year, decent one. Vijay has had a decent one. He's not. He doesn't have 300s in Vijay Hazare. So this is the period when you hold somebody's hand and see him through that little rocky period, because the junior cricket to men's cricket is a huge transition, huge.
True.
Because you find some real seasoned campaigners who've been 10 years of first class cricket. They know their way. They'll eat you up, but you get eaten up and you learn, and then you come back. So that
True.
transition period is what I'm talking about. Same for the girls. Shriyanka Patil now walks into the senior women's team, plays the game. She will find that Deepti Sharma, she does the same thing I do. Why is she more successful? Look how she bats. Look how percentages.
Mm.
Look at her range is same. I mean, she might have range some. Her range might be more than some of the others. But what am I going to do with the range? My range is only as good as my performance. Why are they better? It's how they choose their shots, what situation they play. Sometimes they play second fiddle. Sometimes they tell the bowler, "Okay, next half an hour is yours. Next 2 hours is mine." To have that
Yes.
to know how to go around. A best bowlers come back. I'm just going to be a little bit sedate with her. I'm going to play out these 3 overs. I'm talking about 50 overs cricket. There's a good spell going on. I'm going to see them through. Talk to your partner and say, let's see these two through for 4 for 8 overs. And then when the lesser bowler comes, or the more, the spinners come, or the
Yeah.
second string come, then we can get. So this whole formula of like anything you do, your
Mm.
study, your career wise you've done so well. You all know there's a formula to studying, right? You just can't get up and study every day. There's a process to everything you
Absolutely.
do. Mm.
Um,
Absolutely. Thank you for all those insight, Joydeep. It was a wonderful conversation with you. Before I leave you, I'd like to ask one other question.
Yeah.
You talk about transition, right? Shriyanka Patil going from her Karnataka domestic team to now WPL and then Caribbean League and all of that. Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandhana, and the rest have already talked about, before the existence of the WPL, that the gap between Indian
mm,
domestic cricket for women's and international
mm,
cricket is so high that usually what happens is that's where the players falter, and that's
mm.
why players are finding the BCCI is finding it so difficult to get the right
Right.
kind of players, and why they're stuck with the same squad. But now
Right.
with the conception of WPL, and we're seeing even at the domestic level, we have now under 15s, we have under 14, under 16, all these leagues. How does that change, how players are cropping from the domestic, from the grassroots level?
Gagi, that's a great question. Now, the WPL is a month long tournament. Okay. For me, what is that is good. That's doing up a lot of good. We've seen, Sai Ishak in the Indian team, because I met her yesterday at Wankhede when I was leaving. She was on her way. I've seen her when she was 12 years old,
Mm.
bowling for under 12s Bengal, So I've seen her last 10, 12 years. And right now, because of WPS, she's in the Indian cricket team.
Yeah.
Dreams are made of such, But for me, the A team concept is more important, because that's a 12-month a year program.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
what I saw in the last 3 days is more important for me, because WPL, even if it becomes like the men's, it becomes 2 months. Let me just correlate that with the men's IPL. That's a 2 month gig. But what do these players do for the rest of 10 months? What are they doing inside Mustaq Ali, Vijay Hazare? What is Mukesh Kumar or a Rituraj Gaikwad or a Yashasvi Jaiswal doing inside Mustaq Ali, Vijay Hazare, Ranji Trophy, Irani Trophy, Dilip Trophy, the other trophy, India? It's this whole grind all through the year. All versions, all types of balls, 2020, 50 overs, just keep playing. And just to end, in 1992, Saurav Ganguly, I was part of the Bengal team playing at the time, so I know. In 1992, when he got picked for India, he was not a finished product. He was an outstanding talent. And in the team where we all played, he was streets above us, not in performance, but in talent, because he didn't know the rigors of first class cricket, didn't know how to score runs. He got a brilliant 100 against West Zone in Guwahati. Those time you get a 100 against West Zone or Bombay, you'd be straight in the limelight. The 9 test players playing the opponents. So he went to Australia. Didn't go well. He played one game at the fag end. Long story short, between 92 and 96, he played everything.
Mm.
He played India-A, Dilip Trophy, the other trophy, second class train, go to Valsad, play 4 day game, get up from there, go somewhere, one day, Wills Trophy, Pune. So when in 4 years' time, Khana Pag gaya, then it was showtime. You know? So
Yes.
when you buy
Yeah.
a nice piece of a vegetable or meat from the shop and you bring it, then our parents, mom, marinates it, cooks it, it's in the fire or in the oven, then it comes out, then it gets laid and it's garnished. That bit is what I'm talking about. The
Yes.
talent is there.
Yeah.
Talent is there. It's evident.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ishan and Joydeep, for joining me for this morning
Pleasure.
show. We'll be
Thank
back.
you.
Stay tuned to Ref Sports for sports coverage like you've never seen before.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
You
too.
too.